All week long, we've been examining similar figures, and we've been seeing how to use proportions to find the missing lengths of corresponding sides between two similar shapes. Here we have two weird, unusual shapes. One of them, the larger one, has a missing side length y. We can use a proportion to solve for y because we know the corresponding length of the corresponding side on the smaller figure. There also happen to be a lot of measurements that we don't really need. All we need is one pair of sides that correspond to each other where we know both lengths. Obviously, we need to highlight the bottom sides, the 7 and the y, because that will allow us to solve for y. As for what other pair of sides you need, you can either choose 4 and 10 or 2 and 5. Don't mix them up though. I'm going to choose the sides 2 and 5, the pointy bits at the top. Reason, smaller numbers are easy to multiply, so I figured I'd make my job easier. We're going to keep the bottom sides on the top of our proportion and the pointy sides on the bottom of our proportion. Then our first ratio will be for shape 1. Our second ratio will be for shape 2. This gives us the proportion 7 over 2 equals y over 5. Using good old cross multiplication, we can see that y times 2 gives us 2y, and 7 times 5 gives us 35. Dividing both sides by 2 gives us y equals 17.5. Take a look at these weird shapes. It really doesn't matter if you have triangles, rectangles, or other strange shapes like these. If the figures are similar, then they will still be proportional, as long as you know which sides on one correspond with the sides on the other. Here, the unknown side length a corresponds with 2 on the other figure. We can see that on the small figure, the side length 4 corresponds with the side length 6 on the larger figure. On the smaller one, the long 6 length side corresponds with the long 9 length side on the larger figure. I've decided to set up the proportions so that the tiniest lengths will go on top and the longest lengths will go on the bottom. We'll ignore the medium length sides for right now. On the right, we have the large figure, that will be our ratio, and then on the left, the small figure will be described by the ratio. That gives us this proportion, 2 over 6 equals a over 9. We'll use good old cross multiplication to solve. 2 times 9 is 18, a times 6 is 6a. So dividing both sides by 6 gives us a equals 3. That's the length of our unknown side. You can arrange your proportion any way you like, as long as you stay consistent. Remember, whatever you choose to be on top of the proportion should be on top of both ratios in the proportion. Whatever you choose the ratio on the left side to represent, make sure it only represents that. Same thing for the right side. All right, now you're ready to get started. Good luck.